Please help to find Alanya Lenoir, aka Fruity. She's a young woman who is 24 years old, 5 feet 4 inches tall, 120 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Last seen Saturday, July 30th, 2022 at 1660 Peachtree Midtown Apartments in Midtown Atlanta, Georgia. On September 20th, 2022, Fox 5 Atlanta published an update about this open and active investigation. Almost 3 months after Alanya's disappearance, Atlanta investigators now believe she may have been murdered and her body disposed of. But since no body has yet been found, we will remain hopeful and continue to look for answers as to her whereabouts. Investigators identified 2 suspects in the case who Alanya was known to have been last seen with, 29-year-old Deontay Reynolds and 29-year-old Stephen Obuite. Deontay Reynolds is currently being held in Fulton County Jail on unrelated charges, but Stephen Obuite is on the run and possibly in the metro Atlanta area. If you have any information regarding the case or Stephen Obuite's location, officers ask that you contact the department at 404-546-2472. Through social media, the family also asks that if you have any information, contact the Atlanta Police Department at 470-546-4235 and the Instagram page at finding__fruity. Let's get to the show. Hey there, my name is LexC, and thank you so much for joining me today on LexChat. This week on LexChat, it's up to the audience to decide what we talk about. For those of you who are tuned in live, thank you so much for tuning in to LexChat. You can catch these live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Okay, but if you missed the live, you can catch the replay on Mondays at 8 a.m. on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, anywhere else that podcasts are streamed. And then make sure you tune in for the Sexy Lexi After Hours on OnlyFans immediately after. Well, about 10 p.m., okay? A little bit of an after hours. But this week on LexChat, let's see where the live audience takes us. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in hearing about, then definitely stay tuned. Alrighty, so what's up, everybody? How are y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing all right. I am a little nervous right now. Why? Because I'm trying something new on my computer. Usually what happens when I'm recording these LexChats is I will record everything and then edit and then bounce everything down. But today I decided to let me go ahead and route everything to the show print track so that it will basically be done by the time that I'm finished with the episode. That way I don't have to spend an extra 2 hours at night deciding or editing and bouncing down the track, right? So here's to hopefully this is going to work, because I'll be very sad if it doesn't. I just have to keep things in mind, like, placing the introduction music and then making sure that I edit my background music so that it's actually playing and capturing as it is being bounced. And I don't have the whatchamacallit. Like, there's like a limiter that I had and a compressor that I was running through the show track aux going into the print track, but I decided against that because I can just throw that on as an audio suite or something. So anybody who's listening, let me know if that sounds like gibberish, everything that I just said. But if you're an audio person, then you understood that line of thinking. So a little nervous, but this is basically like truly live the way that I'm doing it right now. So yeah, I've done this before. I'm fine. I just need to make sure I don't freak out. I want to apologize because I am starting 30 minutes later. Oh my gosh. Actually 33 minutes later, 36 minutes later, almost 40 minutes later than I have been telling y'all. LexChat is supposed to be at 8 p.m., but I was running late on my dinner. And anyone in the camera just got a full underarm, a little peach fuzz under there. I don't know what to call this dinner. It's like ground turkey, but then I put vegetable soup in it. And then I put tomato soup in it. And rigatoni pasta. It turned out really good. It just took a long time because I didn't know what I wanted to make for dinner. But it came together, so I'm very happy about that. A few announcements I guess I should get into before I start getting into the Lex check. So I did not make any notes for today's episode. It's very much freestyle and very much just trying new things, okay? So please bear with me, but let's see. What do I usually go through? I want to give a shout out to ihookah@gmail.com. My friend L. Cardi, he opened up a hookah lounge, which is in Marietta, Georgia. I don't know the address. I would have to pull that up, but it's called iHookah and it is off of Delk Road in Marietta, Georgia. So if you're looking for a spot to chill, or if you want a place you could do your listening parties, you could do brunches, you could do game nights, definitely, or just chill, definitely hit up iHookah Lounge, which is in Marietta, Georgia off of Delk Road. Anyone who is listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, right now you are hearing Motorboat playing in the background. What part is it on? Couldn't get him off it. Never got tired, guess he had a lot to say. But shoot, I can't complain. He my Motorboat. Yeah, so that's playing in the background right now. It's actually pretty cool that I can listen to where it's at and yeah, be singing along with it versus me just being all off beat when I do it in post, right? So yeah, that's playing in the background. It is available on all major streaming platforms, so make sure you go stream that. Or, you know, what would be even better than streaming? If you go to iTunes and you actually buy the song. I believe it's 99 cents, but actually buying the song would be dope. And what I would love from you even more, right, is if you could go to my website, www.LexCATL.com, and go purchase some merchandise. I've got LexC #winter sun visors. I know it's starting to get a bit cooler. The weather's starting to get a bit cooler, but still, the sun can be kind of strong throughout the day. So the sun visor is a nice little extra, a little blockage that can help you to see better throughout the day. I also have #winter, #keeper wristbands in every color of the rainbow. We've got red, orange, just think Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, white, and black. And I also have LexC posters, which you can see the artsy, artistic ones in the background there. And then you can see the LexC, the sexy LexC ones. Let me make sure my live people are seeing it. The artsy ones here, sexy LexC posters there. All those things are available on the website, LexCATL.com, LEXCATL.com. And let me know how you messing with the shipping. I think I made some changes to it. I hope that it works a lot more than what it was before. But yeah, LexC merchandise on deck. So I would definitely appreciate that. And while we're doing asks, right? If you could go ahead and like this mug, okay? If you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, go ahead and like the video. Give me a 5 out of 5 rating. Give me a review. Tell other people how much you love it, how much you like tuning in and listening. And that would greatly, greatly, greatly help to get my audience up and for the algorithm to push it in front of a larger audience. I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you in advance. Alrighty. And go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe and follow. Hit the notification bell if you're on YouTube so you'll be notified each and every time I post a new piece of content. And yeah, again, if you missed the lives on Wednesdays, you can catch the replays of LexChat on Mondays at 8 a.m. and Sexy LexC After Hours Fridays at 10 p.m. on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So yeah, let's get into this Lex check. What's been going on with LexC? So even though it's been an extremely slow month, things have actually been picking up the past couple of days. And when I say a slow month, what I mean by that is it has been like I've not been getting as many sessions as I'm used to. And that has been very scary, as you can imagine. I've been very grateful for the fact that I haven't had to work a regular job in over 2 years. The way that I fund my lifestyle is through this music stuff, as some people would call it, and I'm extremely grateful for that. This is the first time since I've gone completely music that it's been like, all right now, where the clients at? All right, people ain't booking. Like I've gone 2-3 weeks straight not really getting consistent sessions, and unfortunately, so it is just the season, but also it's a stark contrast between how things were last year because I'm not working with a client who was a favorite of mine, honestly. Unfortunately, too many personal things got in the way, and I never said that I would stop working with this person, but people make assumptions, and then drama gets in the way, and it stops people from wanting to work together. And people are very sensitive, honestly, and which I totally understand, because I can get in my feelings about things as well. But I was used to that person booking consistently 3 to 5 times a week, at least 4 hours each night. And so with that kind of consistency, I really appreciated his work ethic, and it not only kept me paid, but I also actually liked working with him because he's a good artist. But just too much crap getting in the way, We still got a lot of business to handle, but I don't know that I would go back to engineering for him. I don't know. That would just have to be a conversation, honestly. A conversation that we haven't had. Nobody's blocked. We both have numbers or whatever. I don't know. It's just that time has passed in our professional relationship, I guess, because unfortunately personal stuff got in the way. So yeah, it's been a scary couple of weeks, but at the same time, I've also been strangely at peace about not having as many sessions. I've been keeping myself busy. Someone else, another friend of mine, would say that when this is not a slow period, this is just an administrative period. So even though you're not getting as many sessions, we keep ourselves busy with admin work that might be catching up on updating our song catalog, which I haven't been doing, but I need to be doing. I should be doing, but I ain't been doing that. But updating our song catalog, updating our copyrights, typing out lyrics, and distribute them through Music Match, or I think Lyric Finder is the other one, but I use Music Match to distribute my lyrics. I have to check Instagram and Spotify to see that they've actually been put onto the platforms. But yeah, so we could do updating song catalog, updating our copyrights. We could type out our lyrics and distribute those things. We could create different promos for our songs or create different promos for our services. So I created snippets, even though I haven't been doing it. My discipline has just been so out of whack. And I just found out that we might be in like a retrograde. I don't want to give too much power to outside things, but I'm starting to believe, because my technology, my phone has been acting up a lot lately. Or maybe it's just because it's an iPhone. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so, just doing the administrative work. I created promo clips for some of my singles, and I've been really digging into the LexChat and the Sexy Lexi After Hours and just trying to figure out how I can make those things better. And what else have I been doing? Getting into the modeling. My workout routine is more consistent. I have LexC quotes. I finally have a plan for my LexC quotes page. So I just finished reading The Pursuit of Happiness, and I finished recording a book review for that. And now the next book I'm going to be reading is Omarion's Unbothered, The Power of Choosing Joy. I'm gonna let y'all see that for anyone tuned in. And it is signed. So yeah, as I was saying, even though it's been an extremely slow month for sessions, I've still been doing really cool things, and I've still been keeping myself busy, and I haven't been standing still. I just haven't been doing sessions. I guess it just feels weird. But I've also been feeling kind of burnt out with engineering lately. Honestly, I'm kind of sick of it. I just noticed that I have a bad attitude about it lately, and I'm wondering if I need to take a step back from engineering for a little bit and maybe get a regular job, so I'm not stressing about money, but so I also get the break from doing engineering all the time. And I just thought of this just now in this moment. I could also be burnt out on it because of falling out with my client, who I really did like working with him, and we created some great stuff, but drama get in the way, new people come in the picture, and they start talking and getting into his ear, and suddenly we're growing apart musically. His words, not mine. But yeah, maybe I am disappointed from that whole situation, and that's something that I need to explore for myself, because I'm not even sure, I'm not even really sure about that. I just know that I'm burnt out and I have an attitude about engineering right now. So I need to figure out my next plan of action. Looking beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you will be so happy to know that I got a new little puppy dog. That's another part of LexCheck. I'll get into that. She's a little toy Yorkie. Her name is True. I adopted her from one of my model friends. She's sleeping in her little bed right now. But, maybe I could start buying dog food now since I have a dog again. And I'm giving her to mom though. So this is just temporary until the daughter who I adopted it from decides whether or not she wants to permanently give her up for adoption. And if she decides she wants to permanently give her up, then I'm going to take her to Augusta to give her to my mom. Because my mom says she really wants a dog. But back to the topic at hand. That's my sister, y'all. Hey, girl, hey. Back to the topic at hand. Yeah, I think I'm so turned off by that whole situation. And we put in work for over a year. We've been working consistently 3 to 5 times a week for over a year. And just for it all to fall apart over some over some women drama, like, it just feels stupid to me. So maybe I'm very disappointed about that, and that's why I'm also catching an attitude about doing engineering. I think that definitely plays a role. But I've been engineering for over 9 years now, and engineering was never the main goal. It's always been artist. So another part of that, I feel like, maybe I'm getting to a point where, yes, I'm good at engineering, but I'm just really tired. It was never the end goal, and I'm tired of people only looking at me as LexC the engineer. It's kind of frustrating, And I wonder if I've been using up too much time to be an engineer versus putting it, even though I've built the foundation for my artistry and I have done a lot of things to put myself on and create certain platforms and create a big enough digital footprint to where when you Google LexC, my name is popping up in those top 10 results. So I'm definitely doing a good job on that front, but I'm still fearful in the back of my mind. Did I spend too much time on engineering? And it makes me feel bad too, because engineering is how I pay my bills. So now I've kind of put myself in a weird situation where I have to engineer to pay my bills. So I can't necessarily focus on myself as the artist anymore, because in order for me to pay my bills, that means I have to focus on everybody else's dreams and not LexC. So it's just, I think that's where this LexChat is going to go. So let's get into, we talked about this maybe a month ago, how a bunch of my friends were getting into burnout. And now, child, it looks like LexC is entering a season of burnout. Or maybe I'm on the cusp of burning out. And if I don't figure something out quickly, it's going to crash in a major way. And that's what I want to avoid. But yeah, let's get into that as the topic for LexChat this week. So definitely make sure you are staying tuned for that. Let's go. Alrighty, so getting back into the topic at hand, right? Or getting into the topic at hand, I should say, because, yeah. So I wonder, I'm at a weird place right now where I feel like I am on the cusp of burning out when it comes to this whole engineering thing. And I've been avoiding this feeling, I think, for a long time. If I dissect like where it came from, I think what broke the camel's back, the straw that broke the camel's back, was definitely falling out with this latest client, because that's never something that I wanted to happen. I actually thought this person would be in my life for a while. And the way that we argue is cool. Like, we don't yell at each other. Well, he's called me out of my name, so maybe this is not the kind of client I want anyway. Maybe this is not the relationship I want. Whether he was keeping me paid or not, there were certain disrespectful things that were taking place that would suggest that it is better that we don't work anymore, because you snap and you call me out of my name and I'm supposed to just take it because you keep me paid? Like, nah. I would prefer to work with people who respect me, and I would prefer to work with people who have a better control over their emotions and their women. Is that shade? Hell yeah, it's shade. I mean, but is it shade if I'm saying it out in the open? Because I've told this to him to his face too. So anyway, so there's that, right? And then it's just, as I was saying before we really got, before the break happened, right? I have been engineering for 9 years now. And although engineering is not the end goal for me, it's a means, it is the main source of how I pay my bills, and it is my main means of income. So I can just stop. But what makes engineering difficult, it was never supposed to be it was supposed to be a means to an end. It was not supposed to be the only means. You know what I'm saying? So for it to have gotten so much focus, or rather, I feel like it's gotten so much focus over my artistry, because I get paid more consistently to engineer than I do to sing, than I do to write. Although I'm very pleased to say that I have been getting booked more to write songs for people. And even though this month has been, really the past 2 months, have been painfully slow, in the past 2-3 days, I have gotten paid for multiple mixes. So that's helping me to fill my quota for the end of the month, so I don't freak out as much. But yeah, it's very scary. I need this to pay my bills, but I find myself catching an attitude. So I wonder if I'm on the cusp of burning out. Now, I talked about this with other people. I didn't imagine that I would be experiencing it as well. But I also have not gone on a vacation in a very long time. And I think I need a change of pace. This is what's been on my mind heavily for the past 2-3 weeks. I've been very restless. I haven't been sleeping very well. I haven't been feeling comfortable, but I've also been feeling unmotivated and tired all the time. And anytime a call does come through for me to come do engineering, I get an attitude, and I think to myself, like, man, I don't feel like doing this session. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that for myself, because I don't want to be like, obviously when I get to the session, I can pull it off enough to make sure that whoever came into work is getting something that they can walk out and be proud of. But what we're exposing right now is just, I'm tired. Like, I'm just tired. I am really tired. I'm tired of working in general, but there's also being tired of putting so much energy into everybody else and constantly wondering, is it the reason why I'm not as far as I want to be? Is it because I'm not putting so much energy into myself? You know, is it because I dedicate too much of myself to other people? Too much of my energy goes outside of myself? Is that what it is? Even though this engineering works in line with me as an artist, am I giving too much energy outside of myself? Or is the music just bad? You know, is the music not as great as I think it is? I had a third one. Let's see if it comes back into my mind. But yeah, I wonder, you know, if I focused on my artistry the way that I focus on this engineering, how much further would I be? But on the same token, I haven't been ignoring myself as an artist. Becoming a better engineer helps me to become a better artist simultaneously, because I'm learning how to record. I get more access to the studio because I know how to record myself. I have an entire home studio set up finally in my house to be able to record myself, so I can get on the mic whenever I want and practice different techniques of singing and practice different ways of mixing or using different effects to get different sounds on my voice. So it's not that this engineering thing is in vain. It just feels, like I don't want to get stuck in a box of just being the engineer. I want to make sure that I'm seen as an artist, and that's what I've been having to fight pretty much ever since I became an engineer. I've been having to fight for people to see me as more than just what they met me on. So yes, you met me as an engineer, but unfortunately, because you haven't gotten to know me, you don't even understand that I'm an artist first and foremost. I'm a singer, songwriter, and I happen to engineer. And I do modeling and fitness and audio books and all kinds of things like that. But, first and foremost, I am an artist. And I wonder, does this threat of getting burnt out, I wonder, man, thought escapes me. I wonder if the threat of being burnt out is caused by, always having to give that energy to other people. I don't know. That's not the thought I was thinking of, but it's, even though everything plays into me as an artist, I still have to fight for people to see me as an artist, Official Mr. Flat Show says they all go hand in hand. It's a combination of all, and you can't forget the end goal. And that's the part that's so scary. I even made myself a music box. It's not that one. It's it plays the song When You Wish Upon a Star. And I had engraved in the back of that music box, don't lose sight. And that's what I'm afraid of, losing sight of the end goal because I'm burnt out, because I'm tired. Because I'm tired of paying these damn bills, honestly, by myself. I think everybody is tired of bills. Who created this society where we got to pay bills to live? Why can't we just live and then pay for extra things, To live, why does it cost me money to eat, to sleep, to drink, to be housed? But that's another conversation for a different day, right? But yeah, I wonder... I'm very fearful that I am burning out before I reach my end goal. And I am a very stubborn person. Once I say I'm going to do something, it's going to get done. It may not be perfect starting out. It may not look the best. It may not be the prettiest. But when I say I'm going to do something, I jump into it and I basically obsess over it until I get all of the desired results that I imagined I would get out of it. And I guess another reason why I'm almost at burnout is because I'm frustrated with myself. Like, I can't be tired. I can't be losing focus. I can't be feeling unmotivated. I haven't made it to the finish line yet. I haven't seen the results that I've been working for. So how can I say that I'm about to burn out? What? How can I say I'm tired of doing the thing that goes hand in hand with the thing that I want to do? It's very frustrating. And I know that we all as creatives go through these different ebbs and flows and entrepreneurs, because we are entrepreneurs and independent contractors at the end of the day. So it's all, one and the same. We go through these ebbs and flows of feeling extremely motivated and feeling really good about our decision. And I'm at that point where my graph has started going down. And I'm wondering, when are we going to start going back on the rise? So I think that's what it is. I just realized that just now. I am at a place, and it's also my age plays a factor as well. 28 years old. I feel, especially since I'm a woman, I feel that I am getting too old for the industry, because the industry would want me to come out preferably when I'm like 16 or 17 like Rihanna did, or 22, 23, 24, right? Even though there are no real age limits, it's still a very real pressure that women have to be a certain age before we age out of being desirable, or before we age out of getting the prime years out of us for a career in something like music, right? But the 20s are considered like the youthful times when you'll be the most desirable. So there's also that added pressure of my gender. As a woman, I have a clock on me. Something that, of course, people would look at like a 40-year-old rapper who hasn't made it yet and be like, bruh, just give it up. But the pressure is different for women. Like, we have an even shorter timeline. And God forbid, I shouldn't say God forbid, but what if the woman has a baby? She has a child. That's a whole nother thing we have to think about as women. And I want a family. I want a relationship. Why can't I have both, you know? Why can't I have the career and the family and the man and the happiness? The challenges will come with it, obviously, but the happiness, you know? All the happiness that comes with getting the things that I sought after. Oh, that's good. That is good wine. Peach flavored Moscato. Y'all should try it out. But yeah, it's for all of my fellow creatives out there, this is a note to myself as well as y'all. Oh, let me finish my point though. So when I got on the tangent about age, right? I've already experienced people who graduated college with me changing course from what we studied in college and doing things that have nothing to do with the degree that we went to study for, that have nothing to do with music. I've already seen that. I've seen people switch up on what they said they wanted to do, or give up on what they said they wanted to do. And they tapped out at like 25, 26. And here I am, 28 years old, still working at it, still pursuing it. And it's scary because I feel like there's like this imaginary timeline. Just like I said with women, it is like a silent pressure, but it is a pressure that's still very much affects women, right? Is that timeline. So I saw people tap out at 25 and 26 years old. I'm 28 years old and I'm still pursuing it. But in my head, I'm thinking, dang, what if I hit 30 and this thing still hasn't popped off, despite all of the work I've put in, despite all the foundation building, despite all the dreams, you know, despite the promise that I made to myself as a kid. What if I hit 30 and it still doesn't pop off? But then the other side is like, why am I limiting myself at 30? The time is going to pass anyway. Why not keep working towards it, you know? But why do I feel like I have to cut myself off at 30, as if 30 is like the cutoff age where you have to like get serious, you know? So it's last week we talked about uncomfortable truths. This week, let's talk about insecurities. That's what this episode is going to be called, I just decided. So yeah, I didn't put that in the intro, but I'll just name the episode Insecurities. Because yeah. So what are some insecurities that y'all might have when it comes to this music thing specifically? Official Mr. Flat Show says, the fear of the unknown affects us negatively, but I've learned to get out of my own head, trust God, trust the process, and allow my work ethic to do the rest. So I'm so glad you said that, because as I said earlier in this episode, I know they're not riding no go-karts at this time of night. Anyway, as I said earlier in this episode, even though it's been ridiculously slower than I ever remember it, or maybe I'm just catastrophizing, because I do that. I catastrophize things and I blow them out of proportion. even though this has been the slowest, what feels like the slowest season since I stopped working a regular job, I've been worried, but there's also been like a kind of calm, you know. I was supposed to do this as part of the LexChat, but this works, the LexCheck, but this works for this topic as well, right? Even though it's been crazy slow, for some reason I've been very much at peace and feeling like, you know, things are gonna work out because they have been working out up to this point. So yes, I'm scared, but I also know that I've been here before and I'm chilling. And I kind of, there was a point in college, like the last few months of school, where I got fired from my serving job. And I purposely did not work for a month because I've literally been working since I was 14 years old. And that was like the 1 month that I took off, like ever in a long time. I've been working since I was 14 years old. How old was I? I was 19 or 20 when I got fired from that serving job. And I took 1 month to just not do anything. What's beautiful about that is, and I had this conversation, I just remembered that I had this conversation, this specific point. I talked about this before with somebody. I guess the reason why I feel okay and I'm not really tripping is because even in my seasons of surplus, I was always preparing for when I was not going to have that regular flow. So for me, and this is part of my finance story, and with my LexC finance page, what I hope to help other people achieve, right? It's, especially as a music person, especially as a music creative person, this industry can be so very up and down, where you're in a dry spell for a few months, or you suddenly blow in 1 month and make more money in a few weeks than you ever have in 10 years, right? That's what I'm hoping for, because I'm on year 9. And, child, please, let me just get an explosion of money. Money. And I've been practicing managing my money, because the flip side of this is, why should you receive more when you are mismanaging or not properly keeping track of what you currently make, right? So the reason why I think I am also like chilling is because I've always had a plan for my money, and I've always sat down and thought to myself, okay, this is how much money I make. These are the bills I need to take care of. These are the debts I need to pay. These are the savings that I want to have. And this is going to be a reminder to all of y'all as well as to myself. Reason why I'm not freaking out is because I stuck to those money plans. It's because I stuck to those money goals. So let's say that something that I did, right, while I was going through like kind of a down period. I was pretty broke. But I went and I found a cheap place to rent, who at the time accepted my puppy dog Taz. And that was only $750 a month. I was making $1,600 a month off of studio stuff. What I was doing with that extra money was saving it. I needed an emergency cash savings of $1,000. I needed an emergency bank account savings of $3,000. I want an emergency of $1,000 fund for my car, just in case anything happens with the car. Now that I have a home, I want a $1,000 emergency fund for in case something happens in the house and I need to get something fixed. Hopefully it doesn't cost more than $1,000, you know? And over the years, like even when my rent was literally less than half of my income, which has not happened in a very long time, I was putting that extra money towards paying off credit cards, because once I get out of this situation, I want to decrease my debt and decrease the amount of money that I'm spending monthly. A big portion of what I was spending monthly was going towards credit cards, which was coming out to like $200 a month to pay down fees. And because the interest kept coming up, it was slowing me down, you know? So I made sure I put money towards those savings accounts. I made sure I put money towards paying off those cards and having a plan. I even had a second job at one point, but the studio was hating on me and didn't want me to have a second job. because I couldn't accept phone calls in the morning, even though literally nobody called until after 12 in the afternoon. But whatever. But the reason why I feel so comfortable or not as worried is because I know I followed certain financial plans. And I even had a plan for, okay, if you're in a deficit of money for the month, this is what you're going to do. Or if you're in a surplus this month, this is what you're going to do. If I'm in a deficit, all right, we're going to cut back on this, and this. We're going to only eat this. We're not going to eat out. We're going to limit where we drive to, how often we drive. If I'm out for the day, do everything I need to do while I'm out and then go home and do not go back out once I've gotten home. When I'm in a surplus, buy extra food, buy extra meats, put it in the freezer, put that extra money towards paying off the credit card a little quicker, or put that extra money towards hitting that savings goal quicker. So I'm sitting back and I have savings I could fall back on if things really got bad. So that's why I've been chilling, and I've been doing cool things like a Bridgerton experience with my mom, like going to Birmingham Public Library in Alabama and meeting Omarion, and getting his book, and then like seeing Alicia Keys in concert last Friday. I've had those tickets for 2 years, seeing Alicia Keys. So even though this has been a very slow month financially, as far as making money, I've been living more this month than I have in years, despite not having a vacation. Let me read what you have here. I am Travi Lee only says, in life, we get anxious about the future and where we are going. Yes, I know in the Bible it talks about don't be so anxious about your life. If your current situation is flowing well and everything is being provided and you not lacking nothing, then God got you. You just got to manage and trust the process. And that right there, you just summed it up. That's exactly what's been happening. So even though, like I said, I've been here before, where I don't know why it feels amplified now, maybe because I own this place, even though the rent is like a third, even though the mortgage is a third of what rent in an apartment would look like today. Maybe I feel more pressure because I own this. But my dad's name was attached to the apartments that I've had, and I never faltered on those payments. Somehow I made it. Even when I wasn't making as much money in college, I would literally eat rice and vegetables. I literally ate rice and vegetables for a month because I didn't have enough money to pay for groceries and gas in my car and pay for some of the stuff that I needed for school. Oh man. And just, I literally made certain sacrifices to make sure that I would be okay. And being okay with not being able to have like the lavish, luxurious stuff. As long as I have what I needed, then I was good and I wasn't failing. So just like you said, Travis Lee, life is all about seasons. Yeah, life is all about seasons. And there's been a peaceful calm, even though I'm worried about I am worried, but I'm not stressing about it. So even though I'm worried about how much money I'm making or not making, there is a certain peace and a calmness within me that I don't feel like I've experienced or been aware of until this point of my life. And it feels good, but it also feels weird. Like, God will provide. And even though it may not look as luxurious as I would like it to be, as long as I got my basics, I'm fine. I have a roof over my head. I have food in my fridge and my freezer. I've got a car and I've got gas in my car. I can grow my natural nails. Worst comes to worst, I know how to do a sew-in now. I can make myself look pretty. I got nail polish if I want to do my nails myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have the basics. I've got a recording studio in my house that I know how to make sound amazing. What am I tripping for? What am I worried about? And as long as I keep exploring all the talents that I know I have, I will be fine. And I want this to be a message to other creatives as well. We're going to be in seasons where we are not as prosperous or we are not moving as quickly. Like, things are slow, But as long as we've had that plan in mind, and I would encourage us all to write our plans down. Where is my book bag actually? So I want to show y'all something, right? Something that I'm really proud of myself again for is my ability to plan things. Now, I don't plan like every little meticulous detail, but I do make plans for what I'm going to do with my money. And let's just speak from a money standpoint, right? I always keep a notebook. I always keep a notebook. So this particular notebook, I track personal spending and business spending, but mostly business spending. And I'll do things like it's a money journal essentially. So in my money journal, this is for my personal stuff. So let's see. I will date it, and like I said, it's a money journal. So let's see what I got here. 1 month I took note of my expenses, or I took note of how much money I made in the previous month and was going to apply it to the month that I was going into, right? So I would write down, okay, what bills do I have? Mortgage, HOA, food for the house, gas in the car, gas bill, water bill, electric bill, internet bill, home warranty bill, cell phone bill. Back then I was paying for Spotify. I don't pay for that anymore. But I would literally make a list of my expenses. And from there, just plan out certain money. So just so I was always going to be aware of what my money needed to go to. Because I talked about this in a previous podcast. I don't remember which one it was, but money is a relationship. And if you don't pay attention to it, it'll wander off. You won't know where it's coming in. You won't know where it's going out. And if you don't show money that you care about it, it's going to leave you. It's leaving anyway, but at least when you assign jobs to your money and money knows its place in your life, you will have good control over your money. And this is at a basic level right now, right? But when I do eventually get blessed with a higher tax bracket, now I have a system in place for how to keep track of that money and how to make plans for my money. So let me see. I'm trying to look for like a journal portion. So 4/14, January, February, March, April. So that's April 14th, 2022, right? I wrote, I've reached my savings goal for my personal account at Wells Fargo. What now? What do I work towards now personally? What was supposed to be the purpose of the $1,000 in cash and $3,000 in the bank was just in case money. When really hard times hit, that will cover at least 2 months of expenses for me to get my life together. I guess next up, I would want to save for home improvement and repairs and maybe an emergency medical fund. Plus, I want to get back into putting money away for retirement. Also, I'd like to plan to save for vacations. So that now gives home improvement, home repair, medical emergency, retirement, vacation. And then on the next page, I made my lists. I said home improvement. What do I want to do? Repaint the garage, buy shelves, outdoor porch setup, big picture to hang in the couch living room, mount the TV, get some bar stools, dining room table. It's just like all planning, right? Home repair. Eventually I want to get a new stove, a new fridge, a deep freezer, get new toilets, random repairs, and just stuff like that, right? So I think what I'm getting at, because that was a bit of a tangent. What I'm getting at is, yes, this is not necessarily a season of deficit. This is more so a season of slowing down. And really, pandemic should have made this clear for all of us. But, you know, people be freaking out, including myself. I was freaking out. But the reminder that I want to give to my fellow creatives as well as myself is these slow times should be expected and they should be prepared for. So as long as you have a plan in mind, and I would strongly urge everyone to write down a plan. This is a notebook. So this is a money notebook. This is a money journal, but I also have a journal for my songs. I also have a journal for my personal goals, right? Highly recommend. Don't just think about it. Put it down into the history books. The history books is your own journal, your own paper. Write it down. I truly do find that when you write stuff down, it's more likely that it will come true. Make vision boards. The saying out of sight, out of mind is so true. Part of the reason why you write your plan out on physical paper is to have it in your sights. You have to manifest it into the physical world. Otherwise, it's not likely to happen. So that's why I highly recommend writing. Even with songwriting, I need to get back with putting stuff into a notebook because I missed that. You know what I mean? But you got to be careful what you write on that same note. If you keep writing these toxic ass songs, you're going to keep living a toxic ass life. So be careful. If you keep writing about heartbreak, you're always going to experience it. So be careful. It's very powerful. It's very powerful. But so the advice that I want to impart to myself and to my fellow creatives is you should be planning for the slow times. You should be planning for the fast times. So slow times equal deficit, fast times equals surplus. You should be planning for all of that and plan for regular times. You know what I mean? So for me, I knew that there would be some slow times. So I had plans for my surplus money. When I have surplus money, don't just trick off and go on vacations and spend it on lashes and hair and nails and car and trips and stuff. No, use that extra money to stock up your fridge. Use that extra money to put away in savings. Use that extra money to put away in emergency funds. Like, do that. So then when you have these moments of deficits, you won't be so stressed out. You can ease up a little bit. You don't have to freak out. You don't have to cry and worry because you had a plan. Now we have to stay disciplined, and that's what I'm going to say about money, right? Just have a plan. Just have a plan for what you want to do. When it comes to this music thing, right? And I hope I say this eloquently. I didn't write any notes down for LexChat today. This is just what it became. When it comes to this music thing, as far as what I talked about is like me being on the cusp of burnout, right? Just like the plan that I talked about having for your money, have a plan for what you kind of want to do in life. It doesn't have to be every little detail hammered out. Just have an idea of what you know how to do, what you would like to know how to do, and what you would want to see for yourself. So even in these moments of slow times, and I know the money is a huge factor of it, even in these slow times when you're not doing the professional thing that you thought you would be doing all the time, you still have something else that you can put your attention and your focus into. So for me, I've got fitness. I became a personal trainer. I've got cooking is a thing, but I've got the LexChat. I've got the Sexy Lexi After Hours. I've got those podcasts. I've got LexC quotes. I threw myself back into books because that's something I wanted to do. I got into modeling because that's something I want to do. So don't ever think that just because one area of your life or the one area that you want to go right, don't think that just because it's a slow season that you're doing anything wrong. Maybe you just need to take a rest. Maybe you just need to take a break. Maybe you just need to break up the routine and try to do something different, because that's what I'm going through right now. I think I just need a little breaky break from engineering and get something new to help me get out of this lack of discipline and lack of motivation, But what's been helping me is engineering is not, and this is going to go back to, oh gosh, what was the name of that episode we did? Get a hobby. This is going to go back to the Get a Hobby episode. There has to be balance. Like, music is what we do. Music is what we love, but music is not what we are. We just participate in music, but it is not something that is like a physical part of us, We love it. We have a passion for it, but that's not all our identity is based around. So it all boils down to balance once again. So during these slow times, you are doing fine. Things may not be jumping off as quickly as you would have hoped for them to, but you are doing an amazing job. And you have so many talents that you can explore. You have so many things that you can be doing. Just because what you put your focus on hasn't jumped off just yet, understand that you have so many other talents that you could be developing that eventually is going to work for your good, okay? It's eventually going to work for your good. The only thing that you have to do is explore it. So when you get into these seasons where you feel like you're not moving that quickly, where you feel like you're about at the edge of quitting, just remember that this is not all that you are. There's so much more to you. Okay? I needed that for myself, and I feel like y'all needed that too. We're doing great, goddamn. We're doing a great job, okay? We're doing wonderful. We just have to remember that we are multifaceted. We are complex beings. We're simple beings, but we have the capacity to be and do multiple things. Don't get so worked up and wrapped up and worried about what's not happening that you forget about all the other things that you are good at. Lean into those and explore those things. And on that note, we are going to end LexChat right there because I do want to keep a tight hour for the sake of Instagram not kicking me off prematurely. So yeah, I hope that helped y'all, and I hope y'all appreciate this chat this week. I'm going to get back into bringing guests onto the show. So let me know what kind of content y'all would be interested in having more chats about, right? I feel a little bit of Holy Spirit on me right now, and I feel a little emotional. That was from the heart. So I needed that, and I'm glad to hear that you needed that too. So good. That's a little motivation for all of us. We're doing fine, damn it. We're doing great. We've been here before, and how did it end? We made it through. We're here today, so we're doing great. So if this chat helped you, then please, if you are watching on YouTube, if you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you leave a comment down below to tell me, did this help you, or, what other advice you might want from music. I'm definitely down to offer that. Make sure you, like I said, give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, leave me a 5 out of 5 star review, leave me a review, whatever. Hit the notification bell, all of that good stuff. And all of those things help to get the algorithm to push me in front of a bigger audience. I would greatly appreciate that. Like I said, you can catch these Lex chats on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. If you missed the live chats, you can catch the replays on Mondays. I think I'm going to change it to 12 p.m. on Monday because I struggled. This is my second time struggling this past Monday to put it out at 8 a.m. So I might change the time, but it's going to be on Mondays at 8 a.m. tentatively. All right. And followed by Sexy Lexi After Hours at 10 o'clock. We are actually going to move those chats to OnlyFans Live. Okay. Still going to be recording as a podcast, but I'm going to move that to OnlyFans Live just because I want a different interaction, and I can't be my full ratchet self on Instagram. I got too many people watching me, I've realized, like family. So yeah. But anyway, yeah, catch the replay of Sexy Lexi After Hours on Fridays at 10 p.m. Remember, Hookah Lounge is in Marietta off of Delk Road. That's my friend El Cardi. Y'all can go there for birthday parties, brunches, game nights, listening parties, talent showcases, or just a nice place to chill, right? Hookah Lounge, that is off of Delk Road in Marietta. Make sure y'all go check it out. And we're going to be having a listening party there soon. We recorded an album last year. He's about ready to do a release party. So, keep your ears to the LexChat and to my website, or text me your number. So I'll add you to my little text group list or whatever when I do events and stuff like that. What else? Motorboat is out everywhere. The album is getting mixed. It's an R&B album. I know I've been on rap shit. Keep this clean. I know I've been on a lot of rap stuff lately, but I am working on an R&B album. What's all your links? So basically just LexCATL.com. So on my homepage, there's nothing there right now, but LexCATL.com on the homepage shows when I put up events that I'll be attending. So yeah. Yeah, Motorboat is out everywhere on all streaming platforms. LexC merchandise, hats, wristbands, LexC lighters, LexC posters, all available at LexCATL.com. Oh my gosh, please become a patron for $5, $10, or $25 a month. Choose from the different tiers of my patron system to get more like one-on-one personal help with stuff, and to get bonus content, and to steer the content that I put out. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to do that at the top of the episode. But yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. Patreon.com/LexCATL. Patreon.com/LEXCATL. Shawty. All right, but thank y'all so much for joining in on the chat. Come join me on the after hours on OnlyFans patreon.com/sexylexi studio, SEXCLEXC studio. Come join me on OnlyFans for the after hours, but that's it for the Lex Chat. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Until next week, my name is Lexi. Peace.
Motorboat, yeah.